We've reached the end of the month, so let's take a look back at the month of November. Hello, fellow geeks, and welcome back to Running Geek Girl. My name is Heather, and I'm glad you are here today. It's time for the monthly update where we take a look back at what's happened over the past month in terms of training, races and medals, any new gear and equipment that I've tried out, and we'll take a look ahead at what's coming up on the channel and on my race calendar. We're going to start things off like we always do by taking a look back at the month in training, and this one was a doozy, so let's get started. Hello, and welcome to November. So, the first few days of November, easy run. Some intervals, and then a nice long run on a Saturday for 2.5 hours, which felt incredible. This week is going to be the last full week of training before my 24-hour ultra, so a little more intense than the last week. We've got a couple of easy runs and then 3 more intense sessions, 1 uphills, 1 fartleks, and 1 intervals. So I've got that to look forward to this week, and then a nice couple of weeks of taper. So the weather cannot make up its mind. It was cold, now it's warm again, then it's going to get cool again over the weekend. So I have zero idea of what the weather is going to be like in a couple of weekends when I go do the 24-hour race. So could be anything at this point. But right now, I'm just trying to focus on form. I'm trying to stay consistent. I'm trying to make the most of this last week of training before we start taper. So that's where we are for this week. I will catch you after this weekend's 3-hour long run. And we're back for another week. Now, last week was all focused on that last push of training. And I'm gonna have a video up here where I just kind of documented the entire week and what I did. So that's, if you missed it, then go back and watch that. But today, after taking an entire day off doing absolutely nothing, I am still a little bit worn out, but I am going to have a slightly easier week this week, shorter workouts, 2 rest days, one of which I am actually using to run a 5K in Bentonville for the Dirt Circus, so there should be a video coming out about that. And it's mostly just trying to start the taper this week. I've got 1 speed session and everything else is just going to be just a nice straight flat run. So that's where we're headed, trying to get all the pieces moving. I've got a super busy week ahead of me, so just trying to figure everything out, get everything done, and still stay consistent and moving. So I will see you guys after Dirt Circus. All right, we're back again. A cool, breezy, and rainy Monday here in November. Had a 5K race over the weekend in Bentonville. I did the Dirt Circus, which is set up by Ultra Sign Up. Fantastic experience. If you missed my video about that, there's a link up here, so be sure to check that out. But it was absolutely wonderful. Loved it. I'm just cooling down from what is going to be the longest run of the week, as this is the last week of taper before my 24-hour ultra starting Friday night. So I am spending the week making sure I have all of my supplies gathered, packed, ready to go. I think that there is no longer a call for any rain over the weekend, which is great. I believe the temperatures are going to be low in the mid 40s, high in the mid 50s. So fantastic running weather. And I realized yesterday that I am momentarily at a sense of peace with my training. I just feel like I've done everything I could possibly do, and now it's just gonna see what happens. And I'm looking forward to seeing what I can do with what looks like some really nice conditions, taking things slow and easy. I do know a couple of other Rock City Running ambassadors that are gonna be there. I'm doing a cool down walk right now. There's a few more just 30-minute easy runs just to make sure that my legs are still turning over. And then we go into Friday's race. Also, I am doing 5K training with my 10-year-old. He wanted to know what it's like to run a 5K. So I'm using the Zombies Run 5K app, and it's been
very enlightening to just go back to the absolute basics of running a 5K and looking at that from someone who's been doing half marathons all year. It's been very, very enlightening for me. But that's about it for now. Easy taper week. Got some new Asics. It's the same model, just different pair that I'm going to be breaking in this week to make sure that I've got something comfy for the race. And I'll see you on the other side of the ultra.
And here we are, the last week of November, and the good news is that I made it through my endurance race, and my body is healing well. The bad news is that now I'm sick on top of everything. So this week I am using the time down to recover. I'm going to start doing some easy walks. Maybe towards the end of the week, do some, little 30-second jogs and in between and do little segments and stuff like that, but just really take it easy. And then after that, my coach has a 4-week training plan for recovering after a hard effort and getting back into a regular running routine. And then we're going to start focusing everything on getting ready for Little Rock Half Marathon. So that's where we're standing right now, just using the time to rest and recover, and then we're going to start our rebuilding process. That's it for the month of November, and let's catch up at the end of the month. And that brings us to the end of the month. So there you go. It has been definitely probably an eventful month is how I would describe it, and it's kind of hard to sort out all my feelings about everything just because there's been so much going on, but I do feel happy with everything that I got accomplished. Do I feel like I could have pushed harder during training? Maybe a little bit. I'm not sure, but I am definitely happy with how the 24-hour race turned out. I do feel that I can push a little more on strength training, and so that's something that I'm kind of focusing on once again. That's something that it feels like I'm constantly focusing on, is how can I streamline the strength and mobility training that I'm doing, and probably going to be in contact with my coach about that and just find out what are some of my other options that I have. Looking ahead at what's going to be going on for the next 4 weeks as far as my training goes, it looks like there's going to be a lot of cross training and easing back into a regular running routine. I will say that probably one of the hardest things that I've had to do all month is not run this week, just allow my body the chance to recuperate and to heal and to recover. It's been tough. I've been a little bit of where you have the taper tantrums. I'm having a little of that after the race just because I can't go out there and run, but I am getting to the point where I can go out and take some long brisk walks, and that is helping a little bit. So now that we've talked about the training, let's talk about the actual results of the training, and that would be the races and medals that happened over the course of this month. Of course, the first one was Dirt Circus Bentonville. This is a trail running event that is put on by Ultra Sign Up. It was an opportunity for them to get some elites, fly them into Bentonville, and let them duke it out on the 10K trail, as well as having the locals come in. The 10K was absolutely packed. There were so many people running the 10K. Fewer of us decided to do the 5K. I just wanted to have something nice and easy since I knew that next week I was going to be doing the Sunset Endurance. And so I just kind of wanted to go out for a fun run. It was wonderful. I loved it. The trails were fantastic. It just felt good. Everybody was in a great mood. I made a promise to myself, no electronics on that run. I was not going to look at my watch. I was not going to bring my headphones. I was just going to enjoy the experience because it's only 5K. So it was very nice. Met some very nice people, just kind of hung out and experienced the trails. One of the things that I didn't talk about is one of my favorite things at the trailhead. There is a restored one-room schoolhouse that's been there for, who knows how many years, but they have restored it, and that's kind of the marking point for the start of the trail, as well as having a lot of big carved wooden animals that are out on the trail that you can see as you run past. The main trail going back behind the schoolhouse is called the Traverse Loop, but everything that branches off of that trail are all named after Schoolhouse Rock songs, and I love Schoolhouse Rock, and I just thought that was the coolest and funnest thing. The trails were nice and undulating, no huge elevation changes, probably just that
one massive hill
towards the end that went up into a residential neighborhood, turned around and came back. It was like a 45-degree angle. It was a rough one, but the rest of the trail certainly definitely easy and enjoyable, and just had a great time. If you missed it, this was the medal from the race for the Dirt Circus Bentonville. This is a wooden medal with a paracord here. That's one thing that I really love about trail races, is just how unique and interesting the medals are. This is definitely one of my favorite trail medals that I've seen. And of course, the big one for the month was the Sunset Endurance Challenge 6/12/24, and this is one that I have been training for several months. The idea was to go in and hit at least 50K, because that is my longest distance that I've hit so far, with a pie in the sky stretch goal of 50 miles, and I managed to hit 51. And at that point decided that I really didn't need to do any more. So out of 24 hours, I ran nearly 19 of them, and then decided that I just could not do any more without seriously injuring myself. Not to mention the fact that I realized by the end of the race that I was sick and I was running a blazing fever. So it was probably best that I stopped when I did, but I do feel super accomplished with how that turned out. I ended up being 4th place female in the 24-hour division. Had I pushed for 60 miles, I would have tied for 3rd, but it just was not in the cards that day. Sometimes you have to just listen to your body and know when you've done enough. And this was a definite educational experience in listening to my body and deciding when enough was enough. And so if I attempt that course again, then maybe I'll push for 60, who knows? But I am so wildly happy with the fact that I hit over 50, which was my stretch goal that I didn't think I would even hit. So super happy with how that went, and make sure that you watch the video on that if you'd like to kind of get more on the whole experience. As far as new gear and equipment, since I had races coming up, I did not want to throw anything new into the mix. I was trying to stick with what I was familiar with. The only thing that changed out was I got a new pair of shoes, but they weren't really all that new. It was just a different set of the same model that I was already wearing, which is the A6 Gel Nimbus 25. And so I just got same shoes in a different color. I got a great deal on them at Rock City Running. I'm an ambassador for them, and they are really my #1 spot that I go to when I need to get new shoes, just because they are so knowledgeable about what I need and what's going to work for me, and helping me figure out exactly what I'm needing and for what kind of race. So my old Gel Nimbus were definitely running out of steam, so I needed to upgrade to something a little bit newer. And of course, I'm going to be looking forward to seeing the 26 when it comes out. So stay tuned to the channel, because I may be doing a test on those. And taking a look at what's going to be coming up next, the next thing that I definitely have on the calendar is going to be the Little Rock Half Marathon, and that is not going to be until March. So I've got that on the calendar, but I am still kind of looking ahead to other things that I can add to the calendar as well, because I am still pursuing that goal of running a half marathon in all 50 states, with the exception of running a marathon if it happens to be one of the Abbott majors. If you read the description for my page, and you can get a look at all of the states that I have covered so far, you'll see that I've still got a lot to go. So I am always open to suggestions, and just kind of thinking ahead to what I can feasibly get done. Also, with videos that are coming up on the channel, as I mentioned earlier, I am training my 10-year-old to run a 5K, and I'm discovering a whole lot about myself that I really hadn't thought about in a long time, and getting back to the basics. So I do plan on doing a video about that, on what I'm learning about going back to the bare basics of running a 5K, and what that means to me, and what I've been figuring out from it. I also have a holiday gift guide coming out for this season. So if you are a runner and you would maybe like to get something for another runner, or if you would like to send the video to someone to give them an idea of what to get for you, then I'll have that coming out fairly soon. We'll also have another episode of Run the USA, where we're going to be taking a look at races in New York. We already know about the New York Marathon, but what else can you run in the Empire State? If you have any suggestions, drop them in the comments below. And there's a couple of traditions that we do every year. One of them is me going around and looking at all of the Christmas lights in the area, so I'll have a special video up on that. I'm also going to be doing Shortsmiths, which is what I do every single year from December 1st all the way up until Christmas. I will put out a short video every day, just to kind of give you a glimpse into my life and my running. Plus, there is going to be an app review, so stay tuned for that as well. And finally, just like we do every month, there is going to be a link in the description below for this month's Spotify playlist. Of course, we're going with a holiday theme again this year. So if you have a Jingle Bell 5K or an Ugly Sweater 5K, or if you're just going out on a shorter run and you need something new to listen to get you in the holiday mood, then you can listen to that down below. You'll also find a link to a mega list of all the songs that have been chosen for monthly playlists for the entire year of 2023. There's also going to be a link below to Welcome to the Geek Den, which is an entire running playlist of music chosen by all of you. If you have anything that you would like to add to the list, make sure to drop those in the comments. If you're just looking for something new to listen to, I would definitely start there. So there you go. That wraps things up for the month of November. We are almost done for the year. It is absolutely crazy to think about, but what are you looking forward to for the next month? Why don't you let me know down in the comments below? Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. It doesn't cost you a thing. Just click that button down below and it keeps you up to date on all the running adventures I'm having all the time. You can also give this a big thumbs up. Both of those help me get out to more runners just like you. You could also follow me on social media. All the links are down in the description. You can find me across all platforms under the name Running Geek Girl. Thanks so much for being here. I'm so glad you could join me. Remember to laugh hard, run fast, and be kind. I'll see you later. Thank you.